Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX with me, Devika Devan. Our top focus is Afghanistan and Pakistan. A deadlock continues with regards to the Afghan-Pakistan talks in Istanbul as Afghanistan-Taliban delegation refused to commit to a verifiable action against the Tehreek-i-Taliban Pakistan and other groups that are said to be operating from Afghan territory. Reportedly, the discussions lasted nearly 9 hours but ended without any agreement on eliminating terrorist safe havens. The Afghan side is said to have submitted a written response to Pakistan's proposals but refused to provide any written assurances. These talks come even as 5 Pakistani soldiers and 25 others have been killed in clashes near the Afghanistan border in recent developments. Pakistan's military has claimed that these 25 others were terrorists who were attempting to cross from Afghanistan into Pakistan's Kurram and North Waziristan districts. What do the latest developments truly signify? I take the conversation forward. I have with me Ambassador Yogesh Gupta, former diplomat. We also have with us Major General Brijesh Kumar, former DG of Military Infrastructure, and Amjad Ayub Mirza, an activist from POK, with us as well. Let me begin with Ambassador Yogesh Gupta. Ambassador Gupta, Pakistan's Defence Minister Khwaja Asif threatening open war with Afghanistan while they're in the middle of peace talks. What do you make of that, sir?
That obviously means that the talks are not proceeding and on the lines of in the manner that Pakistan had hoped. And there is a basic contradiction here. You see, Pakistan is insisting that Afghanistan, that is the Taliban over there, they should hand over the PTP elements who are indulging in strikes against Pakistan to them, or to restrain them, or to move them from the bordering areas. Now, Afghanistan regime has not been able to agree to that. They are unwilling, or they say that, look, that is something that you have to talk to the TTP yourself. Basically, you see, Taliban government has certain amount of sympathy with these Afghan groups, or these terror groups which are operating there, because they ultimately are people belonging to the same ethnic groups. They belong to the same areas. These people, they helped Taliban in their coming to power when they were fighting against the US-led international security groups, international security force. So Taliban has its own limits in countering or in taking any action against TTP and other groups that are operating from Afghanistan. Basically, Pakistan's old policy of supporting the terror groups, or to use the terror groups in Afghanistan for their foreign policy objectives, that is coming to, that is causing some sort of a payback in the sense that those groups have now turned against Pakistan itself, because their objective is to set up some sort of a Sharia state in the bordering areas of Pakistan with Afghanistan. So Pakistan followed a wrong policy, and this is the payback of that wrong policy. And now, of course, there is no alternative for Pakistan but to fight these terror groups, and which means that Pakistan will remain involved for quite some time in this fight with the Afghans, with the TTP, the Tehreek-i-Taliban Pakistan.
All right, let me bring in Major General Brijesh Kumar into the conversation as well. Major General Brijesh Kumar, your thoughts on the same as well. Where do you think the current situation between Pakistan and Afghanistan is headed?
Devika, there is a fundamental difference between the two states, the way they perceive each other. Of course, the issue of Durand Line has been a major difference. It came up as the boundary between Afghanistan and the British India then somewhere in end of the 19th century, 1893 or so, that 2,600 kilometer line, which is perceived as a boundary, is not acceptable to the Taliban per se. So that is one major sort of difference. In fact, Afghanistan, look back to history, they consider the area inhabited by the Pashtuns, right from between the Amu Darya on the western side to the Sindh River in Pakistan, which actually in Pakistan today is Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, not an area per se. So there is a very fairly fundamental difference in the thinking of this aspect. Second, which is more important, is Pakistan, the way it treated Afghanistan. It thought Afghanistan is its client state. It is a big brotherly attitude of Pakistan for the virtue of having helped them out during the troubling years. Not really helped them out, they had no option. During the Russian occupation first, the Americans used the Pakistani space. And then when the Americans came in there, they again supported the Americans and got the Fauji's got the mullahs out of it. The Pakistan army, they were actually the only credible institution within the state of Pakistan is the army. So they've been calling the shot. But the attitude towards the Afghanistan has been very, very big brotherly. And no wonder we recount those stories when the Taliban were formed. The ISI chief, DGISI, was the first guy there, very happy about the entire thing, as if they have done some wonders. So the chickens have come to roost, the fight is over. And the third aspect is the international dimension as well. Afghanistan's location today between Pakistan in the east and Iran in the west, with the Central Asian Republic on the north, the Chinese coming to this area, the Americans having interest in this against the Iranis, and of course the Pakistani hobnobbing with lots of people, the Saudis, and they're trying to send troops somewhere in the Gaza, and imagine they've come to fight over here. So all this is making things a little tricky, and it's a good thing if it carries on like this, as we are concerned. In fact, we have really got a nice little opportunity to stabilize the regime in Afghanistan. We've been we've been friendly with them initially. We sent our aid when they had the earthquake, and recently after the foreign minister visit here, we also recognized that and reopened our embassy there. We have interest in the communication there, in aid there, in people-to-people contact there. We also made the Dilaram Zaranj road a few years back, about a decade back or so, to get an entry route from the Chabahar port. So this is a nice opportunity which presented itself, and we have been able to grab it up very well. It's nice to have a friendly neighbor west of Pakistan. And there again lies the dilemma of Pakistan. They always thought that Afghanistan provides them strategic depth against anything offensive from India. That theory is gone for a six. It must be bugging them. It must be troubling quite a bit. And I'm sure though of course Afghanistan is a much weaker state vis-a-vis Pakistan, both in terms of economy and in army. But then the war these days are not between the armed forces per se only. They are proxy war, right? It's asymmetric war, which will carry on. I suppose it probably bleed Pakistan and give them some sense, much to the not to really to the delight, but it will help us resolving our own issue per se. Devika?
Right, absolutely. Let me bring in Amjad Ayub Mirza as well. Amjad Ayub Mirza, your first thoughts on the latest developments between Afghanistan and Pakistan, where talks are continuing, but there have been reportedly fresh clashes along the border. And of course, the Pakistan Defence Minister in the middle of the talks warning Afghanistan of an open war.
Well, I think these talks are going to stall. I mean, first of all, the delegation led by Khwaja Asif, who is the defense minister, that is a wrong choice if they really want to conclude some kind of negotiations, if they want the negotiations to be successful. Because Khwaja Asif has been saying that Afghanistan is an enemy country. He has been saying that Afghanistan ke saath dosti nahi ho sakti. So why are you sending such a controversial person who has a mindset that he's talking to enemy, not brother Afghan, So the moment that this delegation was announced, I was very clear that the Pakistani authorities are not serious in coming to some kind of closure regarding Afghan-Pakistan conflict. Now, the Pakistanis keep on blaming the Taliban government in Kabul for facilitating Tehreek-i-Taliban Pakistan and giving them safe havens. I disagree with that totally. The Taliban, Pakistani Taliban, along with Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, Hizbul Mujahideen, they were all asked to leave Afghanistan. They have moved out of Afghanistan. And where have they gone? They have all gone through either Balochistan or Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. I mean, Daesh now has their camps in Balochistan. TTP is controlling almost 70% of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. And they don't need safe havens in Afghanistan because they have turned Khyber Pakhtunkhwa itself into their safe haven. So Pakistan's allegations on Afghanistan are baseless. And secondly, the Afghans, what they have brought to the table, Pakistan is not willing to accept that, which is a due line. I mean, there is no border between Afghanistan and Pakistan. Now, the third thing is the dam that they want to build on River Kunar. This is the latest on which Pakistan government has issued very, very rude and derogatory statements on the media and in public that they will bomb the dam. I mean, they always talk about bombs and fights and war. They don't know the language of peace. And I think that more than that, I think that it is Pakistan is acting on this is my, I mean, my, what they call it, and my analysis, that Pakistan is working on the instructions of Donald Trump, President of the United States of America, who wants control over Bagram base and who does not want peace to prevail in this part of the region. Hence, he has made a statement yesterday only that I know both of them. I know the Afghans and I know the Pakistanis, and Munir is a very nice person and I can make peace between them. So I think that this is all orchestrated by America to pressurize the Taliban to give in the Bagram base and stuff like that. So I don't see these negotiations heading anywhere. If for face saving they come up with some kind of agreement, it would not last for long. There will be a second phase of war between Afghanistan and Pakistan.
All right.
This is my assessment.
Okay, all right. I have some breaking news coming in as well. Spokesperson of Afghanistan's Taliban regime, Zabiullah Mujahid, has stated that Afghanistan seeks dialogue after the recent talks between the two nations in Istanbul. He has also said that Afghanistan has only reacted when it comes to the conflict between the two nations, with initial action coming from Pakistan. Mujahid described the Doha negotiations as a positive step and said regarding the remaining parts of the talks currently underway in Istanbul that they are waiting for the results to emerge. While he emphasized dialogue, the Taliban spokesperson stated that Afghans reserve the right to defend themselves, even as he reasserted that Afghan soil is not going to be used against any country. Ambassador Yogesh Gupta, as far as the current talks are concerned, sir, what in your assessment will be some of the critical points that will perhaps lead to any sort of lasting peace between Pakistan and Afghanistan?
No, I don't expect because fundamentally I think objectives of the two sides are very different. You see, Pakistan wants Afghanistan to control the TTP and others who are involved in the border raids. And as far as Afghanistan is concerned, their point of view is that, look, these are people with whom or to whom Pakistan has to talk itself. We can't control them. They have a number of demands. And Pakistan has to talk to these people. As the previous speaker just said, these people are gaining control of certain areas in Pakistan's Pakhtunkhwa province. So once that happens, then it will become far more easier for them to sort of launch on those attacks or raids against Pakistan. So some kind of a negotiated solution may emerge if Pakistan is in mood to compromise on some of the demands of these people, that is the TPP. But to say that they will bomb them or they will root out these people and so on, but that is not an approach which is going to work, because foreign powers have not succeeded in resisting the forces of Afghanistan and the Russians first and then the Americans. Pakistan is much slower.
All right. Same question with Major General Brijesh Kumar as well. Major General Brijesh Kumar, in your assessments, what will be some of the 2 to 3 critical points that will really decide now the fate and future of Afghanistan's relations with Pakistan?
The war or the skirmishes or the conflict has been triggered off by the actions of TTP, the very insurgent group created by Pakistan. Now, the moot question is, would the Taliban rein in the TPP in the manner in which the Pakistan state wants? That's a big question. And why should it, or why should it not? That is the whole issue. And seeing the kind of environment, seeing the kind of a thought process or the fundamentals of the Taliban government in Afghanistan, it is not very likely to rein them at all. I don't think so. There is a fundamental difference between the way the Talibani governments think and the way the Pakistani government think on the issue, which is again a very basic kind of issue, the Durand line. Even today, the Taliban government has not been, recognized by the government of Pakistan. So what are we talking about? Peace? Yes, some peace, because of both the countries are actually bankrupt. Taliban, after 3 decades of war, would be in the process of building their kind of an economy, a war-ravaged country. We also have issues with regards to the women population being, kept away from the economy. And Pakistan, we know, has been in a begging bowl, a country which is dominated by the Punjabis, both politically, economically, and also militarily, and with its states at different levels of discontentment. There are literally, in Balochistan, there is insurgency on. The other day we saw in POK what was happening. People there understand, in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, this tamasha which is happening. Are they in a position to fight or take it? I don't think so. So if they are not in a position to fight, these skirmishes will take place. But otherwise also, there is a fundamental difference between the governments of the two countries. While Afghanistan talks about, Sharia and the Muslim rule of law, Pakistan actually does not. Pakistan uses it as an instrument of state to have a sham election. It is doing business with Israel. It has no qualms about it. So the entire business of the government business in Pakistan is based on enmity with India, and that is the reason they throw out the Pakistan army and then they call the shots. So while they talk about Muslim Ummah and brotherhood, they are least interested. They are interested in perpetuating the Pakistan army. And since in the environment today, both the countries are weak economically, though Pakistan is larger in size, they would listen to the peace efforts which is being underway either by Turkey, which sees itself as a rising power of the Muslims, the Sunnis per se, or the Qataris actually. And of course, we have the famous Donald Trump, the Harvey Peace Prize, the Peace Prize winner, who considers that every place he can arbite, and that's why he talked probably to even today in Malaysia that we'll stop the war. That's a good little thing. But I don't think something major is likely to happen. The wars, in any case, the conflict is of smaller scale because they cannot, both the countries cannot afford in the manner it is because the economy is poor. So something will keep on happening. There will be some stopgap bandobast of peace because of the pressure of the country. Otherwise, it's going to be business as usual. And it's an opportunity for us to focus on building relationship with the government in Afghanistan and knock off the strategic debt which Pakistan claims to have or thinks by having Afghanistan on its side. So, and that opportunity we should not miss on any opportunity. And I think our government is looking in that particular direction. Enhance people to people contact, give them aid, give them education, give them medical facilities. They also have a fair amount of rich resources in terms of minerals and what have you, that will come in handy. So this is what I feel about the entire thing, that Afghanistan is important for India, build bridges now, and have a permanent thing that we used to have earlier. Devika?
All right. On that note, let me bring in Amjad Ayub Mirza as well. Mr. Mirza, it is of course strange to hear that Pakistan today is trying to navigate terrorism with Afghanistan, and that seems to be the sticking point. What we're learning from our sources is that Pakistan wants Afghanistan at this point in time to take some verifiable action against members of the Tehreek-i-Taliban Pakistan and other such quote-unquote terrorist groups that Pakistan believes are operating from Afghan soil. Do you think the Taliban will be able to deliver on this promise?
You see, this is like ordering a pizza from a jewelry shop. You know, when there are no Taliban, Tehreek-i-Taliban Pakistan in Afghanistan, I'm not talking about individuals hiding here or there, I'm talking about an infrastructure of TTP in Afghanistan. There's no such thing. How can the Afghan Taliban deliver it? How can they say, okay, ye tha, humne isko barbad kar diya? There is no such thing. I'm telling you now. The other thing is, which is alarming for Pakistan, is that after banning the Tehreek-i-Taliban Pakistan, whose more than 200 workers they killed in Lahore and Murid near Lahore, the Tehreek-i-Taliban Pakistan have given them an open invitation to raise arms and join the Tehreek-i-Taliban Pakistan as in a united front to fight against the state of Pakistan. So now is Pakistan going to say that Tehreek-i-Taliban Pakistan is operating from Afghanistan? No. Tehreek-i-Taliban Pakistan is in Pakistan, created by Pakistan. Now they have gone rogue, so they want to ban them and show to the world that we are fighting terrorism on our home territory and we are also under attack from terrorists from foreign countries. I mean, they are habitual. The only thing that Pakistan is good at is lying. That's it. Misinformation, disinformation, lying, twisting things around. You know, they have never come clean of anything. So I don't trust them. And I don't see any peace between Afghanistan and Pakistan.
Right.
Until this border dispute is resolved, there will be no peace. Never. There never has been peace. There will never be peace.
All right. On that note, I've run out of time, but I thank all of our guests for joining us on the broadcast with that perspective. We leave it there and sip into a very short break.